All right, welcome to the game 4 of the Credit Union One West Coast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. We have Seattle U with head coach Chris Victor and student athletes Will Heimbro and JoJo Murphy. We will start with a opening statement from the coach.
Yeah, I thought, it wasn't our prettiest win of the year, but when you get to this point in the season, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is if you can score more points than the opponent and find a way to advance. And I'm really proud of this team for sticking to it, staying together. San Diego had us out of sorts. They did a really good job of getting us off balance on both ends. We were chasing on defense, and they were ahead of us, and we weren't getting into any rhythm on offense. And a lot of it is credit to them for doing that. But our guys stuck together, and This team's greatest power, I believe, is how close they are in their relationships and their belief in one another, and it came true again tonight, and you saw it. And found just enough stops to win the game. And these two guys next to me, Will and JoJo, had huge plays throughout the game, offensively and defensively, and really helped us. I mean, we scored 58, and we needed every one of them, and these two guys were a big part of it.
Open up for questions for the student athletes.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato with the West Coast Conference. Congratulations, guys. JoJo, you're a senior and you're in a new league, and you come into the conference tournament and you win a game like this. What's the emotions? We heard you guys in the other room. What's this been like for you guys tonight?
The opportunity itself is super exciting. Like Coach said, this is a really tight-knit group, and we are really close together. So I'm really just happy for the group itself and how close we are together.
And Will, you guys got your 20th win tonight, so there's that also. And now you get to play Pacific, which I think you guys came within a point or two of beating them, and you played them. Yeah. How exciting is this scenario to go forward and advance to the weekend of the tournament?
Oh, it's super exciting. I think this is one of those wins where maybe early in the season we would kind of want to get together and watch film and talk a lot about it, but now it's on to the next. We're happy we got a win. And like you said, we played Pacific close last time. They're a really good team, but definitely a team that we can beat, so we're just going to prep, and we're excited for tomorrow.
And JoJo, your coach said it wasn't a pretty win, but a lot of guts shown out there by everybody, and the guys fighting really hard. What was it like to be in the midst of a game like that?
I mean, it was fun. I feel like we made a good adjustment coming out of the halftime. We were kind of tentative in the first half, so we wanted to up our physicality and really just execute that in the second half.
Well, what's to say about your team that on a night when Maldonado, who's your leading scorer, just can't buy a basket, you guys still win?
I mean, yeah, it just goes back to what Coach and JoJo said, how tight-knit the group is, how close we are. Braden's our best offensive player, best scorer, so but he does such a good job, even when he has a bad shooting night, he did such a good job of still leading and getting our offense in rhythm. So everyone stepped up. JoJo stepped up big time. It was great to see. Yeah.
And he had the steal and on the scrum on the floor, and yeah, he somehow came up with the ball and called timeout before he got tackled. So, well, have fun, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, student athletes. You're free to go. Thank you. Questions for the coach?
Chris, on that theme of, being back in the West Coast Conference, and you get your 20th win, but you also advance in the tournament in your first game you ever played in this tournament, I believe, because they didn't have the tournament when Seattle U was in the league before. And what's it feel like, and what were the emotions in the locker room?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I felt like coming into this tournament, we were playing some of our best basketball, if not our best basketball of the year. And this team's really fun to coach. They really enjoy being together and competing together. So with a team like this, you just want to play for as long as possible. And to win this game and be able to go prep again tonight and tomorrow morning and play again tomorrow night, so we just want to keep playing with the season. These guys can stay together and see how far we can go.
I think JoJo averages, 6 points a game, and he doubled that tonight. He made some big threes in the second half. Let's talk about how he delivered for you guys.
Yeah, JoJo's, he's a Division II transfer, and sometimes it takes a little bit for our transfers to get comfortable, and JoJo's an example of that. Beginning of the season, he was trying to find his way. It's a new program, it's a new level. It's a new coaching staff. It took him a while to get going, but at some point it clicked for him. And when Braden got hurt and missed 4 games, I believe, JoJo stepped in and was huge for us. And we won 3 of 4. We lost a close one to St. Mary's. JoJo stepped in and was huge for us. And him being able to come into that spot and play like he has been lately has been huge for our team.
And Will, same thing. It looked like he had a big second half for you as well. You should talk about, I mean, he's a guy who's not physically imposing, but he makes a lot of plays for you.
Yeah, he's been great all year for us. Defensively, obviously he was Defensive Player of the Year for the conference, led the conference in block shots by a wide margin. And offensively, he's very versatile. Started the game scoring the first 7. I mean, hit a 3, got 2 layups right away, got us going. And then down the stretch, we went to him a lot. And for him to continue to finish like that, to make those 2 free throws in the end of the game, I'm really proud of him for this one and how much he's grown. You know, this is him stepping up into this season, becoming a whole new player.
We had 9 different guys score tonight, and the only basket Braden made was that circus shot he made driving the lane when time was running out on the clock. But it says a lot about your team, I guess, that he can have a game like that and you can still win.
Yeah, Braden didn't play well. We were 3 for 21 from 3. It wasn't our best offensive effort. Braden does so much, so I think you heard Will mention it. Every time out, you hear his voice. He's leading the group. You know, they talk about this group staying together and believing in each other. A lot of that starts with Braden. And even though he had a bad game offensively, I felt like he was competing, he was leading, and it allowed our team to stay in it. It allowed our team to continue to believe. And it allowed our team to eventually kind of turn the tide and built an 8-point lead. Didn't last very long in the second half, but at one point we were up 8, I promise. So he's a big part. I mean, yes, I hope he shoots better and scores more tomorrow night. But ultimately, he's a big part of this no matter how he plays offensively. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. All right. Welcome to session 2 of Game 4 of the Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. We have San Diego here with head coach, good, how are you? With head coach Steve Lavin and student athletes Tenari Lane and Vuk Boskovic. We will start with a opening statement from the coach.
Competitive, a competitive game. We had our best back-to-back defensive games to finish the season. Last night was, some of the, maybe the best defensive performance, and I thought tonight matched it as well. To hold them to 41% from the field and 14% from the three-point line. They were 3 of 21 from the three. So really credit the grit and the fight of our team and to stay with it and improve in an aspect of play that we struggled with at times this season. And to be able to flip that when it matters most says a lot about their willingness to work at the game. And that bodes well for their future, which is what we just talked about in the locker room. And we've got a group that has a bright future. And with the revolutionary, transitory nature of college athletics, some will be at USD moving forward. Some will be at other schools with the transfer portal now in the mix. And then some will be playing basketball professionally. So what I just emphasized in there was it was an honor to coach this group. 14 new players, I think from 4 or 5 different continents. And we had 9 months together. And it really was a joy to work with this group. And I've had a number of different stops in coaching, but this was, interestingly, and maybe counterintuitively, the most enjoyable 4 years that I've had in my career. And it's because of the young people I was able to work with and the prestige of this, university and all the other aspects that the staff I was able to work with, and a terrific president that was my boss. So just really grateful to work with the people, including the 2 that are up here with me tonight. Our guys fought hard. We came up short, and we always give a tip of the cap to an opponent that earned the win, and they're moving on, and we're looking to our futures.
Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrata with the West Coast Conference. So now you guys are down 8 points with a little less than 6 minutes to go, and all of a sudden you rip off 8 real quick points, and it was after the flagrant foul, I think, when you got the possession again and you get the 3. At that point, did you feel like this game's in our hands to take, or what were you thinking at that point?
At that moment, yes, I thought the game was ours to take, but I feel like that throughout the whole game, we just really had to get back into our mojo as a team, and so once I hit that 3, I was just hoping like it was going to be a momentum changer, so it was going to be on our side, but that definitely was the plan, yes, sir.
It didn't end the way you wanted it, but from watching it, it looked like it was a fun game. Did you have a good time? I mean, it was so competitive and guys played so hard.
Yes, it definitely was a great game. Credit to Seattle U, they're a great team. It was a fun game, just great competition, just a good bump. Shouts out to them.
Look, you had a nice game, and then you had a shot right toward the end. Looked like you maybe didn't have even time to gather yourself. Talk about the 3-point shot at the end.
It was very good game, and all game get stuck in that one shot, and I don't know if it was a good decision by me, but I just want to say that I'm proud of all of these guys, and especially when we come back from 8-point losing, and
I think we deserve to advance to another game to play against Pacific, but let's say luck wasn't on our side today.
It looked like you had almost no time left, that you almost had to take that shot. Is that what it felt like at the time?
Yeah, I mean, I scored 2 3-pointers before that, and I thought if I don't shoot it, see, we had so much turnovers this game, and I don't know, maybe I was in bad situation to take that shot.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Thank you, student athletes. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Steve, what were you thinking when you ran off the 8 points in just a matter of seconds to tie the game?
Yeah, I mean, our group, and we talked about it last night, probably exact hour, 24 hours ago, that, you know, they've demonstrated all year this ability to come back in games. And so I think you almost get to a point, you're accustomed to it, so you're not surprised. It's like, you know, here we go again. So it was a, you know, kind of a knockdown, drag out, you know, slugfest. I said at halftime that, you know, they kind of remind me of a West Coast Conference version of the Wisconsin Badgers in terms of the swing offense during the Bo Ryan era, especially. Great guards teams play, you know, at a different kind of clip now. No, they'd have to Google that. But halftime to the reporter, not to my players. But so, but yeah, I mean, but it was a game which is partly, you know, a credit to Seattle. They, you know, because of their style of play, it's at times it's difficult to find your rhythm or flow, and so they, you know, they play comfortably, you know, in the 50s, and you know, we can play a slugfest game, and we demonstrated, I thought, in the second half last night against LMU. It felt like that type of game, right? But neither team really found a good rhythm offensively. But we held on because we got a couple stops, made a couple free throws, and, you know, didn't shoot the ball particularly well in the second half after having a really strong, you know, offensive performance in the first half against LMU. Tonight, you know, the numbers, you know, in the first half, you know, 52%, 41 from the three, and we held them to 9% from the three-point line in the first half, so I felt good about that. We held them to 42%. I mean, we did statistically have our best back-to-back games defensively of the entire season last night and tonight, and so that was encouraging. But they were effective, you know, and found a way. You know, I'll have to do the autopsy report later tonight when I, you know, get back to the hotel. We didn't focus much. Sometimes, you know, after a game we go over this, you know, because of the finality of this moment. You know, it really was more about their future and expressing my, you know, gratitude for being able to work with this particular team, you know, and things along those lines. So, but if I look at the numbers, I'll give a better look tonight. I mean, we did some things, you know, we 6 of 23 in the second half, you know, so they were also effective at kind of limiting our three-point attack. To me, the turnovers, it was 14, which isn't a wild number, but in a lower possession game and a more grindy, methodical, deliberate pace of a game, those 14, you know, add up and they kind of undermine. They did some good work with their double teams, and then, you know, there was a stretch where, you know, we weren't getting to windows to you know, have that outlet to throw to. Sometimes we were dribbling in a crowd. Sometimes we were trying to pass the ball into a crowd, and so we were talking about it in timeouts and reviewing what we wanted to do. Late, we kind of just spread the floor. We were actually more effective when we didn't try and put the ball down low with post feeds, and that's how we were able to kind of get back into the game and tie it.
Luke was sort of second guessing that play at the end, but did you feel like there was really no alternative but to take that
No,
shot?
I mean, again, I'll go back and watch it. The age-old dilemma is like, to foul or not to foul, right, with a 3-point lead. And, to call a timeout or not call a timeout. And sometimes you're looking to see if you're going to get something you don't want, because I've done that where you call a timeout right when a guy's breaking free or he's wide open in the corner. So you're mindful of that, especially off a rebound, because you're in transition and sometimes there's not pinpointed man-to-man responsibility, so you want to explore if you got that advantage. And he's unique because he can blast the ball out like a Draymond type, and he can shoot the ball. And he had hit a couple threes in our comeback, so you feel good about him on the perimeter of his European style of play. But naturally now I go back and say, well, because of the outcome, if we call a timeout, get Wanse back in the game, but I've been on both sides of that, in terms of the call a timeout or not. So I think his instinct to, he was feeling it. We actually got a second shot, because the other thing about transition, it's a good time to shoot a three, because if you miss, they don't have that pinpointed box out responsibility, so it's also a good opportunity. You call a timeout, the old Pete Newell dilemma, Bobby Knight, the same as, now you also run into a situation, of the things that can happen that are bad, like not getting the ball in bounds or turning it over or getting a 5-second count or, So I'd have to go back, but I didn't, I would have liked for us to get a better look than that, but the fact that he got a look, and he's a good three-point shooter, and then that we got a second look. It's hard to really. Now, could we have gotten better looks on both those opportunities if we, but they also could come out and do something defensively because of that timeout, So it's a real, like I said, age-old, great philosophical discussion over a couple beers, with coaching buddies, and usually it's the outcome. Right, then naturally you Monday morning quarterback yourself if the outcome wasn't favorable, and then you feel a little better if it worked out, So, but Vuk should not put the game or that shot, as in a negative light, or put that us losing tonight didn't come down to that shot. There were so many other elements to it, and I was proud. They fought, showed a lot of grit. And again, Seattle U found a way, even though they only shot 41% and they couldn't throw it in the ocean, right? 3 for 21. So that says something about them. We out-rebounded them as well. I mean, statistically, it's kind of a unique game in a lot of ways. We made 5 more threes than them, so we outscored them by 15 points from the three-point line. We out-rebounded them. We had 14 turnovers. They only had 11 turnovers. Maybe that was important. Free throws, pretty equal, right? They had 3 more free throws than us. So that's why it was a 2-point game, right? Tip of the hat. They get to advance. Congratulations to Seattle U. And then, as I said to our team, we got to help our players with this transition, because some will be returning to USD, and then some will be moving on from USD. And then we have a lot of players that now are looking to extend their career beyond college because they've used their eligibility up. So.
Your career, do you want to coach again?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. I think partly it's because I enjoyed this experience in a way that rejuvenated. I feel fresh as a daisy. It's I don't feel like I'm an old man shuffling around. I've got some gas in the tank. And I think I, have the ability to continue to coach. But naturally, you want to be a good fit, and so I wouldn't just like USD felt like a really good fit. And I think it was. We just were in a unique window where as it turns out, really I was more of a conduit or a bridge or kind of shepherding the program from, you know, the elements prior to NIL, portal, and revenue share, you know, and also facilities. So these, 9 months ago, we got the NIL, we got the revenue share, and we got the facility all at once. Our first 3 years we didn't have that, but it's an honor and a privilege to be the coach. And I told the players as much in there, I said, you guys are kind of like the trailblazers for this university. Other universities had that, Loyola Marymount, the schools in our league, probably Portland, Pacific, Pepperdine, and us. We were the 4 teams that were late to the game. But now the future's so bright because all the elements that it takes to build a sustainable winner, USD has in place now. And so I was maybe the guy that brought it from, one era into this new era, beginning 9 months ago, and then pass the baton to the next coach that comes in here, and he can, I think, really lift it. And with the realignment that's going on, I don't see any reason why USD can't be a, top 4 team that on occasion is able, through the cycles, to win the league. St. Mary still has kind of, established themselves for 25 years. That continuity and what Coach Bennett's done there is remarkable, and they're a successful program as there is in the Western United States. So, he's still the kingpin as Gonzaga moves on. There's USF, there's Santa Clara, and then, some upstart teams. So it'll be really interesting to watch. I'll follow it with great interest, and I want the program to continue to climb. And we didn't win as many games I would have liked to this year, but we finished with 5 conference wins, so we doubled our conference wins. I think we came close to, maybe we did. We doubled our overall wins, so we did double in total wins and in conference wins. And while that's incremental, I'm pleased. At least we took a step in the right direction. An incremental step.
Thank you, Steve.
You got it.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Great to see you again. Yeah. Fox, and I'll be up your way more frequently.